Starting to record right now. Okay. Okay. Welcome everybody to another edition of Complete Sports Media's podcast. I'm your host, Darren Campbell. And today joining me is Jason Cameron. We're going to break down some NFL football, some NBA, and some UFC. It's going to be a fun episode. So let's get right into it. Hey, Jason, happy Sunday to you. How are you?
I'm good. It's not overcast with smoke and wildfire smoke today. Like, I believe literally this is the first day out of 2 weeks. It's a beautiful day out there. It's nice. It's nice to breathe clean air breathing. Oh man, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
I know. Holy cow. It was the first day that I could see the North Shore Mountains across the water here. And it was, man, that smoke has been just hovering around here for way too long. So yeah, I'm glad it's finally gone and we can experience a little bit more of the sunshine. It is the first day of fall tomorrow. So I was kind of hoping we would get a little bit of extension to the summer because we missed these couple weeks with the smoke.
Yeah, man. That would be nice. And hopefully we do get a couple more sunny days before we go into our winter hibernation mode and everything goes gray and rainy. But yeah, that's coming.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you're right. Yeah, it's coming. But let's hold on for a few more weeks, please. I missed a lot of the summer with COVID and then the fires and stuff, and so it's sad that it's feeling like it's almost gone.
Yeah, it is. It's been the weirdest, oddest summer, I think, for everybody involved on the planet. And so hopefully, as we go forward, things will get back to more and more of a normal pace, so to speak.
No kidding. Yeah, let's hope. Okay, well, second week of the NFL. First week was pretty exciting. This week had a lot of really great matchups as well, and I guess the marquee matchup was the Dallas Cowboys and the Atlanta Falcons, involved in a crazy shootout today. 40-39 victory by Dallas. Atlanta was up 20-0 and seemed to be fully in control of the game. We saw Atlanta blow a 28-3 halftime lead to the Patriots in the Super Bowl 3 years ago. We all remember that one. This one obviously isn't gonna hurt as much as that one, but pretty bad that they would blow a 20-point lead and lose. They couldn't recover that onside kick, and Dallas came back and had a massive win. What a crazy great game to watch, though.
Yeah, and I appreciate you bringing that up about the Falcons losing so tragically to the Patriots, because as you know, I'm a Falcons fan, big time Falcons fan, and so I cried when that happened. Still crying. But no, I thought initially that this game was going to be a blowout. I was just like, oh man, Falcons got this. Turned away, came back, and I go, oh, Falcons don't have this. What just happened? I will give Prescott and the boys, the Cowboys, all the credit in the world, because they showed incredible resilience in that game, and they kept battling back until the final last couple seconds. That is a great win by the Cowboys. You can't take that away from them.
Yeah, I'm sorry about the Falcons not winning. Matty Ice has played really great, had a fantastic game last week in a loss. Played really great. It's just their defense just doesn't seem to be able to hold off the other team's offense. Dak Prescott, 34 for 47, 450 yards passing, 1 touchdown, and he scored 3 touchdowns himself rushing. Amazing day. A lot of criticism leveled against him after the opening week loss, and he redeemed himself big time.
Yeah, he did. So he has a performance of this magnitude in this game, and you don't want to pay that guy? So you really don't want to pay that guy, huh? Yeah, okay, that's pretty cool stuff. So, the Cowboys going forward, they're going to have to figure that out. if they want to keep him around or if they want to go a different direction. But if a man does a performance like that, I can't see why you'd want to go in a different direction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he had an incredible game, and he's
Yeah.
able to do that for you. So, yeah, great win by the Cowboys. And Prescott was just like literally from the numbers, he was on fire today. He was on fire.
You must be loving Calvin Ridley and how incredible of a start he's had. Two incredible weeks today. He had 7 catches, 109 yards, and a couple more touchdowns. What a weapon he is.
Yeah, man, and he's actually accentuating and playing well with across from Julio Jones and stuff, and it's just another weapon for Matty Ice to implement into that offensive scheme of the Falcons. And what a weapon it is! What a weapon it is! Hopefully, he can keep it going, Ridley, and keep that offense chugging for the Falcons. And hopefully, in the next week, they can actually get a win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's already got 21 career touchdowns in his first 2 and a little bit seasons. That's actually better than Julio Jones' start, which is really incredible. And today he scored 2 more touchdowns. First guy, he's only the 4th player actually in NFL history to have multiple touchdowns in their first 2 games of the season in their 3rd year. Marvin Harrison, Calvin Johnson, and Eddie Royal. So really elite company there. I didn't think they would be able to find a weapon as potent as Julio Jones, but he's definitely worked into his own and, neck and neck with Julio for getting the most targets.
Yeah, man. And so hopefully going forward with those two being like those juggernauts of that offense, the receiving core, maybe they can show or be as good as those guys in Arizona, Fitzgerald and Hopkins. Maybe they can be that same thing. And hopefully they can do that. But first, number one, they got to get some wins on the board. Come on, boys. And hopefully that defense can stiffen up just enough so that the offense is not wasted and they can win some of these games. Because clearly the defense is the weak factor here on the team.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of Arizona, they had a big 30-15 win today over Washington. Kyler Murray, 280 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 67 yards on the ground and 2 touchdown runs. And Hopkins had 8 catches, 68 yards and a touchdown. So, those weapons are very potent there.
Yes, they are. And again, Hopkins, oh man, he's doing well. Oh, I thought he was washed up. I thought he was no, of course he's not washed up. He's a great player. My goodness. Anyways, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that Kyler Murray is finding his way in his 2nd season here. I don't think you're going to see a sophomore slump from this particular quarterback in any way, shape, or form, especially with the weapons surrounding him. I think you can expect big things from him this year for sure.
There was some massive injury news today. A lot of really big stars went down. Saquon Barkley reportedly torn ACL in the 17-13 loss to the Bears for the Giants. Also, Sterling Shepard was hurt. That's massive bad news for the Giants. Christian McCaffrey went out with a leg injury and a loss, 31-17 to Tampa. Who else? 49ers lost Nick Bosa, torn ACL, Jimmy Garoppolo, high ankle sprain, and Raheem Mostert is out. And they were already without Kittle and Richard Sherman. So 49ers decimated with injuries today. Yeah,
man. And again, as I said before last week, they're going to be dealing with these injuries the entirety of the NFL because of the lack of the preseason and the lack of the preparation. It's going to really this might be kind of a very, very brutal season for injuries and seeing guys go out with injuries. Hopefully teams aren't too decimated by the injury bug, but we're already seeing it, and the 49ers are a prime example of that.
Yeah. Marlon Mack went out last week with an Achilles tear, and that really worried a lot the Colts fans. But Jonathan Taylor, the rookie, stepped in and filled in for Mack today. He had 26 rushes for 101 yards and a touchdown. Looked really good. And they have to go to their second and third strings. But yeah, torn Achilles, you know that happened to you in your life before. And yeah, you're right. Injuries, I think, are going to be just horrific this year. No preseason games to keep themselves in game shape. Probably had a lot of hard time keeping in shape through the pandemic, and yeah, I think it's going to be really tough on a lot of the guys.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but this is the situation we're all in and we're all at, and we just got to try to make the best of it. And I know the NFL and the teams are going to make the best of what they can, but it's something that they know that they're going to have to deal with as they go week by week.
Yeah. Buffalo Bills had a nice 31-28 win over Miami. Josh Allen set a career high again this week. He set one last week, set another career high this week. Second straight week for over 400 yards, 4 touchdowns today, 417 yards. He joined some elite company with how great he was in those first 2 games. Only Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, and Patrick Mahomes are the only guys in NFL history to throw for over 700 yards and 6 touchdowns without an interception in the first 2 weeks of a season. So, wow, elite company. He's incredibly talented and really showing very well out of the gate.
Yeah, I guess this might be possible foreshadowing for how good he possibly could be going to the future. That is absolutely amazing. And with the men that you just named right there on that very short list, well, those guys are going to be pretty much first ballot Hall of Famers. You know what I mean? So if he can keep this up, this is going to bode very, very well for that young man, Josh Allen.
Yeah. Green Bay had a huge win today, doubled up Detroit 42-21. Aaron Jones had an absolutely massive day. 18 rushes, 168 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground, 4 catches, 68 yards, and 1 touchdown through the air. Everybody talks about Aaron Rodgers there, but man, Aaron Jones is a weapon. Wow, what a day.
Yes, he is quite the weapon, especially with his hands coming out of the backfield. That basically he's just another receiver out there, along with his running attack. He's going to be a handful for any defense going forward. Those numbers are spectacular. They're just awesome. They're right out of the stratosphere. So with Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback and that guy running the ball, teams are going to be in trouble.
They sure are, yeah. Another good game today was Tennessee-Jacksonville, 33-30, last-minute field goal. Tannehill, we talked about him last week, had a really good game, 239 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. Jonnu Smith was his favorite receiver, 84 yards and a couple touchdowns. Humphreys and Davis had 1 touchdown each. Derrick Henry, pretty good day, 25 rushes for 84 yards. Gardner Minshew is a guy that's been talked about. Everybody loves his name. Everybody loves his mustache, his personality. Had a really good game, but threw a late pick to definitely secure the win for Tennessee. Yeah, it was a good game. Unfortunately, Minshew just couldn't come up with that magic again this week.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but Tannehill's actually showing me something that maybe he can lead the way for this team. He's been consistently good, and I guess as long as he continues to do this, maybe Tennessee has a shot. I have had question marks about whether he could lead this team, but so far so good. He's done well.
Yeah, he sure has. Yeah. I think you and me both questioned him, but really, really played well. Some of the other games just finished. The Kansas City LA Chargers. Kansas City won in overtime. It was the first game for Justin Herbert. He played really well, almost pulled off the upset. Kansas City got a late field goal to force overtime, and then won it with a field goal in overtime. Mahomes, okay day, but yeah, it was a fairly close game. I got to watch quite a bit of that. How about you?
You know what? With Patrick Mahomes, he can't be Superman all the time, but he can he can do it just enough to make sure his team wins. And also too, like Herbert, he was right there. Like if you can get a win over the Kansas City Chiefs right now, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
So for him to come as close as he did to beating that team, hey, all hats off to the young man to almost getting it done. And
Yeah.
also too, that just means that the Chargers maybe have some light at the tunnel. Like maybe they're about to in maybe the next couple of years turn the corner.
Yeah. Yeah. I think everyone in Chargers Nation got quite sad when Tyrod Taylor showed up injured this week. But yeah, Herbert, 6th overall, amazing career in Oregon. He won the MVP of the Rose Bowl in 2020. He won the academic Heisman. It's called the William J. Campbell Award after one of my relatives from way back. Herbert, definitely is a guy that they looked at to come and grab the franchise's reins and take them far. And after losing Phillip Rivers with such a long career, I think there was definitely a worry and a transition period. But yeah, good on him. I think he played well today, and I think he'll look good going down through the games. I'm not sure how long Tyrod's out, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, and if they can just manage to string together some wins with Herbert here at the head until Tyrod comes back, and more power to the Chargers if they can get that done.
Yeah. So big game tonight, Patriots Seahawks. All week they showed the unfortunate play that the Hawks had against the Patriots in the 2015 Super Bowl when they should have had beast mode run it in and win the game for them. Obviously, it won't heal that wound, but it's always good to see Russell Wilson face the Patriots. Cam Newton there looked great last week. The two oldest coaches in NFL history that are facing each other. This sets a record for oldest two guys, Belichick and Pete Carroll. Yeah, it should be a fun game tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a great game. And again, I do appreciate you bringing up another sore wound right there with the fact that they didn't give it to beast mode. It was so obvious. You let him run the ball into the end zone. It's a touchdown. Anyways, sorry. Anyways, yes, I'm really excited to see the game tonight. And hopefully the Seahawks can get a win over the Patriots.
Yeah, that's a wound that I don't know if I'll ever heal from. I actually remember watching that down in Mexico with a bunch of Canadians at a Mexican bar, and everybody was decked out in Seahawks gear except one couple that was wearing Patriots gear, and we were all pretty happy for the longest time, and you thought for sure they're handing it off to Marshawn Lynch, and this is going to be a second Super Bowl victory in a row, and those people are going to have to slink out not happy, but it turned out it was the rest of us that were unhappy. And one of the worst moves, worst coaching blunders, just one of the most craziest finishes you've ever seen in a football game, let alone a Super Bowl.
Yeah, man, because I believe the play before he almost got in anyways. So you're thinking to yourself, wow, he almost got in anyways. It's beast mode. Nobody can tackle the guy. Just hand it off to him and then, woo! Hey, let's have the ticker tape parade. Let's see the confetti. Everything's going to be good. Wait, are they passing the ball? Wait, is that an intercept? What just happened? Yeah, man. So that's how that happened. So I would assume this time around, this is what I'm going to say. If the game is on the line and if Seattle's on like the 1 yard or 2 yard line in this game, I think they're going to run it. That's my guess. I think that's what would happen. I don't know if it's going to play out that way, but I think this time they'd run.
Good prediction. Let's hope so. Yeah, I never want to see a bad move like that ever again. Oh my God, that was horrible. Yeah. So, a big game tomorrow night. Vegas is having their home opener. Obviously, It's too bad that they're not being able to fill the place. A beautiful, beautiful stadium. Hosting the Saints. In the show Ballers, Dwayne The Rock Johnson wanted to bring a franchise to Vegas and had a very long storyline trying to make that happen. It's finally here. We're finally going to get to see games in Vegas, and hopefully fans will be allowed to go to that stadium soon. But that's going to be a great game. Raiders Saints should be a great matchup.
Oh yeah, man. Hey, Drew Brees is playing like Drew Brees always does. The Raiders are bringing Raider Nation to Vegas now. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be great to see, man. And also too, once we get past this whole pandemic thing and all that sort of stuff, then the Vegas team can really use Vegas to their advantage by saying, hey, you come into Vegas, hey, dude, why don't you check out these places? Check them all out. I know that if I'm on opposing team, it's like, I got to be good and I can't go out anywhere because this is Vegas. I understand what happens here. No, staying in my room until it's game time.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. So great week of football. There's a couple more games to be had, tonight's game and tomorrow's game. So, but yeah, a lot of fun matchups, and NFL's in full swing now. It took me it didn't seem real last week, I think, because we're still in the middle of the NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs. We got so much sports going on, and it just snuck up on me that first week. But this week, turned out great, and I'm happy NFL's back. It's a lot of fun. Makes Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays fun.
Yes, it does, and it's kind of nice for the first time and probably the only time where you have a choice of what you'd like to watch, and also too, on top of that, there's something good to watch every day of the week. Whether you want to watch some playoffs, whether you want to watch football, there's something for you. There's something for everybody right now, and that's pretty cool. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it sure is. It's great. It's incredible. Yeah. So much fun. Yeah. So, all right. Well, we're going to turn to basketball. I just do want to mention our partners and sponsors first. We got Anchor.fm, the easiest place to make a podcast. A phenomenal partner of Complete Sports Media. They've been able to post our podcasts on many, many platforms, and really, really fantastic. Just go to Anchor FM and all the details there to start a podcast. We got Verbero. Verbero is a hockey equipment and apparel company. It's a great partner with us. They're an industry leader in technology, performance, and value. And of course, they've got the Mercury V350 stick, the lightest composite stick on the market at 350 grams. Just go to CompleteSportsMedia.com and you can find some details. You can get a discount if you want to purchase any equipment from them. And Forever Living is also the same thing. Go to CompleteSportsMedia.com. They're an aloe vera health and beauty products company. And you can get great products at a discount through our website. So, let's talk about basketball. Game 2 of the Western Conference Final is going on right now, and Denver and LA are playing. LA's got a 5-point lead with 6.5 minutes left. I was surprised that LA dominated so heavily that first game. It was pretty much a blowout. All 12 guys on the Lakers roster registered at least 2 points, and so everybody got some game time. We saw Bull in there. We saw a lot of guys down the bench. LeBron played okay. The guy that was the star was Anthony Davis with 37 points and 11 rebounds. He was incredible, but I was surprised. I thought it would be a closer game, but it sure wasn't.
Yeah, it was close up till I think LA kind of took control of that game in the second quarter, because there was a span of time, I think it was about 4 minutes, where Denver didn't score and LA kept scoring. And then that was pretty much the difference in the scoring going forward in the game. So then LA was just up by like double digits, and they just kept building upon that lead. At times, Denver would whittle it down, but they never came really within striking distance to really threaten LA for the rest of that game. So I'd say there was probably a little bit of being tired after playing, 14 playoff games and now getting into this series. But at the same time, Denver should find their legs, hopefully, in this particular game. I think it's going to be a better showing by them. And also, too, just with now that they've seen LA and how they play their offense, I'm sure there's going to be defensive adjustments on the Nuggets side of the ball to make it more of a challenge for LA to run their offense.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of an off game for both Jokic and Murray. They both scored only 21 points and just didn't seem to get into a rhythm at all. But yeah, let's hope that they can give LA a run for their money. It would be nice to see a close series in this one. I definitely think that Lakers are, favored out of the 4 teams. They would be favored to win the title now. And Denver has rallied from behind this whole entire playoffs and had a historic run, so it'll be fun if they can make this a good series.
Yeah, because the way that Denver has decided to play this whole playoff run is we like being behind so we can do the miraculous and come back. That's what we like to do. And so maybe we're probably going to do the same thing again. They'll probably be down, but hopefully not be down by too much going into the second half. And then we'll see what happens with them. Hopefully Murray and Jokic can find their stroke and find their rhythm in this game because, as you said before, they really couldn't do that in the game previous.
Yeah. In the Eastern Conference Finals, Miami and Boston, you and I have talked quite at length about those 2 teams and the depth that they have. You talked right at the beginning of the playoffs that Miami was a team that you really wanted everybody to focus on. Probably your favorite team to watch this year. And, they have great weapons with Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo. They got the outside shooting with Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson and, many guys. They looked really strong in those first 2 games. Miami did. Boston came back yesterday and had a big win. We're able to push the series to 2-1 now. What have you been feeling like throughout this series so far?
Well, I feel like this is out of the 2 series, this is definitely the marquee matchup because I think these teams are very close to one another in terms of skill level and such. And also too, at the end of game 2 that the Heat won, apparently there was a lot of yelling and shouting coming out of the Celtics locker room. That's actually a good thing because it means they care. It means they actually care about winning. And so it was great to see the team come out on a unified front and say, we got a job to do and we got to handle some business. And they handled their business. They got that win and they got it in a definitive fashion because literally, I think from the second or third quarter on, they never relinquished that lead. They were in the lead and they stayed and they kept it there. And so a great win by the Boston Celtics so that they didn't go down 3-0 and not have a chance to win this series. So good.
Yeah,
good,
it was 117-106 Boston, but that score flatters Miami. Boston seemed to have the handle on it that whole entire game. Jason Tatum had a fantastic year, amazing playoffs. He led the way with 25 points, 14 rebounds, and 8 assists, 2 assists away from a triple-double. But they got 20 points or more from Brown, Tatum, Walker, and Small. So, very balanced scoring. And when all guys are on all cylinders working like that, they're going to be hard to beat. Heat's best player of that last game was Bam Adebayo, 27 points and 16 rebounds. Jimmy Butler had a bit of an off day with 17 points and 8 boards. Do you think Miami's going to be able to hold them off? Do you think those adjustments that Boston made, do you think Miami's going to figure out a way to change the momentum back and take the next game?
Well, here's what I will say. There's a certain X factor that came back to the Celtics that hasn't been there for the entirety of the playoffs so far, and that was Gordon Hayward. Yeah. Gordon Hayward helped solidify that offense. if that guy gives you anything, anywhere between 16 to 20 points, well, now the Heat have a real problem because now you got another guy that's a ball handler, as a facilitator, as a scorer. It's gonna, like I've said it before. This is gonna be a very close matchup, just like the Celtics Raptors series was a close matchup. This is gonna be a hard fought one, and now the Heat have just another guy to worry about now that Gordon Hayward is back with the Celtics on the team. He'll be a little rusty, but after he works himself into the next couple of games, yeah, the Celtics are going to be a challenge. But they already were a challenge. And I'm sure Eric Spoelstra will come up with, because it's a chess match between these two coaches, between Brad Stevens and Spoelstra. And they're just going to make minute adjustments throughout the course of this series, and it's going to be tit for tat the entire way.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, good point. I was actually shocked when I heard Hayward was suiting up. He hasn't played in a really long time, and that was a massive addition for them. Because he's, when he gets in space, he can score, and he's definitely another weapon that they have to, keep on top of when he's on the floor. So, lucky for them. He came back. He was a massive subtraction when he got hurt, and but coming back, we'll see. He definitely will be rusty, but if he can give them double-digit points and pretty decent minutes, he's a weapon that Miami wasn't happy to see him back on the floor, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, they definitely weren't happy to see him. They were probably hoping that he would leave the bubble and be with his beautiful wife and see that his baby boy being born, which is going to happen very soon. But instead, they heard it's like, you know what? She's going to be fine, and I'm going to stay. That's something that I was actually kind of surprised to hear, because whatever he decided to do would have been the right thing to do. And I'm sure his coaching staff and players would have been behind him. It's fine, right? Yeah. But since he did decide to stay, though, it's going to make the series a lot tougher for the Heat.
Yeah, good for him. After missing all of last year, getting injured in the very first game of the year, I'm sure he's hungry for some playoffs and going down earlier in the playoffs, being able to come back. I'm sure it was a hard decision to make, but I'm sure the Celtic fans and the whole team is happy that he's still there. And that's a fun series. That first game was one of the best games I've ever seen in my life, and so incredible how back and forth it went, overtime, and I'm looking forward to a long and fun series to watch. The NBA's been fun. As I said earlier, I think Lakers have the inside track now to take it all, but we'll see how it shakes out in the coming week. So why don't we turn to the UFC? There was a fight night card last night from Vegas. It's the very last card from Vegas before they head to Abu Dhabi for I think it's 5 weeks in Abu Dhabi. So main event was a grudge match between Tyron Woodley and Colby Covington. These guys trained at the same gym down in Florida, American Top Team, developed a hate-on for each other, and had a lot of bad things to say about each other as they headed towards this match. I was hoping that Tyron Woodley would perform much better than he had in his last couple of fights against Burns and Usman, but I don't know. I don't see the fire still in Woodley. I don't see him just being the same fighter he used to be, and Covington took advantage, ended up getting a knockout in the early stages of round 5 yesterday. How did you like the fight?
I was disappointed. Woodley just wouldn't initiate his offense again. He just wouldn't pull the trigger. That's what it felt like. It felt like he was waiting on pulling the trigger, but then also too, he didn't want to get taken down by Covington, which didn't matter anyways because he still got taken down. For me, it was just one of those things where you're waiting on the guy to do something because he has the skills and the capabilities to win this fight if he just lets his hands grow and doesn't worry about the rest of the things. It's a fight anyways, right? But I just think he's way too cautious now. Just way too cautious, and it just stifles his offense by him being so conscious in his mindset and his approach to the fight. And whereas on the opposite end of things, Covington is just coming at you full bore. And he's one of those guys that's a cardio dude where he uses his cardio as a weapon because nobody has cardio like him. And so he's just going to keep coming at you like an avalanche. That's what he is, man. He's just going to keep coming.
I haven't been frustrated with very many fighters as much as I've been frustrated with Woodley because I have seen him perform well over the years. But I think, it's time to hang him up. That's 3 main event performances in a row where he just didn't pull the trigger, didn't seem to have the heart, didn't seem to have the drive. Obviously behind on the scorecards going into the later rounds, and his corner imploring him to change his style, to take the fight to the guy, and he just doesn't seem to. So I'm hoping that he hangs him up. He's got a career in broadcasting, and maybe it's time to move on. Maybe the game's passed him by and he can't do it anymore, because that was 3 really lousy performances in a row that it's not fair to people that are paying money to see him, and he's not performing. He doesn't deserve a spot in the main event, in my opinion, anymore.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate because I remember the prime Woodley. You know what I mean? Like the guy that would just kill you with his power. And then he still has that power, but he's just now he's almost gun shy. He's unwilling to unleash his power, which is yeah, man. Yeah. And with that being said, maybe it is time for him to hang up said gloves, because if you're unwilling to engage, literally, then you probably shouldn't be fighting anymore.
Yeah. Co-main event had Donald Cowboy Cerrone against Nico Price. You talked about Price being quite the heavy-handed striker going in, and you thought he was going to give Cowboy a lot of trouble. This fight was known for the eye pokes that ended up getting Nico a point reduction that ended up in a draw. He looked happy that it was a draw, but Cowboy looked like somebody kissed his mother. He was very unhappy with it, and very two distinct reactions when they called it a majority draw.
Yeah, I can understand Nico's reaction to that, because I'm pretty sure he thought he lost the fight because of said eye pokes. And so for him to not lose the fight, just get a draw, that was a win for him. So that's why he freaked out. And that's why Cowboy's just like, what is with this guy? What is wrong with you? It's a draw. Nobody won. But, I think that's why Nico was responding the way he did. And you know what? You want to talk about guys that actually engage? Talk about guys that actually bring a fight? That probably should have been the main event fight, because those guys brought it. Those guys brought it. And I would dare say if we had another 2 rounds of them going at it, then you definitely would have seen a winner.
Yeah.
Between those two. And they threw down. They had a great fight. Nico tried to literally get Cowboy out of there within the first 2 minutes of the first round. Landed 40 strikes in 2 minutes in the first round. I'm like, well, you can't sustain that. No, man. You can't keep that up. And then also too, Cowboy showed, I still got it, because he didn't blow him out. He didn't wilt. He stayed the course, and then he started firing back himself. It was a great fight, man. Great fight.
Yeah. No, thoroughly entertaining. And yeah, I remember. I'm glad you remember those 40 strikes, because they made a point of saying that around a couple minutes in, how he was really battering Cerrone. But Cerrone seems to be that slow starter that needs to get hit in the face 10, 15, 20, 40 times before he starts to really get into it and throw back. But man, does he ever have a heart, have a chin, have an ability to get into wars and keep going. And there was a lot of talk about him, maybe having to take a step back because he's had some losses lately. But I was entertained with those 2 guys for sure.
Oh, yeah, man. It was thoroughly entertaining fight. Yeah, the eye pokes kind of sucked, but it happens. Hopefully for Nico, he can keep an eye on that and adjust his training so that less eye pokes. But both are warriors. Both brought a great fight. And you know what? At the end of the day, I'm not I'm not disappointed that it was a draw because I thought it would be kind of close to a draw anyways, or Cerrone's win because of the eye points.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the middleweight fight right before that had Khamzat Chimaev, and he's already in the record books for the quickest 2 victories in his UFC career. He came out and he said, "I love smashing guys. I want to smash my way to the title. I want them all." And the UFC definitely put a much tougher opponent in there against him this time, Gerald Meerschaert. Well, we thought he was much tougher of an opponent, and Chimaev just got him out of there in 17 seconds with an incredible KO. He seems to be the real deal, 8-0 and smashing guys and taking them out. Set a record for 3 victories in 66 days. Nobody's even close to that record, and I think Dana White's impressed, and I think the world's impressed. This guy has really came in and showed he's a world-class fighter.
Yeah, man. First off, I don't think anybody's going to be breaking that record anytime soon. Like 66 days? Are you kidding me? And then also, too, so he had to step up in competition. And so what he did was he decreased the time that he spent in the ring. That's what he did. He goes, "Oh, is that guy better? He's better than the last 2 guys. Okay, so he's out of here sooner." He's getting better at being more efficient at putting people away. That's scary. And also, too, he showed something that none of us, we haven't seen before, which is he threw some hands. Well, he threw one hand. And that guy has some major speed to his hands. I did not know that. And Meerschaert saw the shot coming, but it was so fast. It's just like slow motion. There's the punch. I can't move out of the way. I'm too slow. And now I'm knocked out. It was incredible, man. Chimaev, all the credit to him. I'm assuming, I'm just going to say this since he didn't get hurt. He's probably going to have a 4th fight here pretty soon. Probably within the next month.
Yeah.
If I'm him, I just keep that ball rolling, man. I would assume we'll probably see him back in the octagon very soon.
I think he's going to go to Abu Dhabi and stay there and just wait for somebody to pull out. He said he wanted to be the backup fighter for the main events. He wants to fight Khabib if Gaethje can't make it, or vice versa. And he wants to just wait in the wings, and anybody that pulls out, he's willing to fight. And Dana White sure looked impressed, and I think he's willing to run him out really soon. He's doing this well, and he's creating this much buzz. UFC loves that when guys can do it, and yeah, I'm sure we're gonna see him fight in Abu Dhabi over the next 5 weeks.
Oh yeah, man. Like, he's the new thing. He's the new shiny toy of the UFCs. But this guy is an absolute killer. He's an assassin, man. Very impressed. Very impressive win over a very tough guy at Meerschaert. Hey, let's see how far this guy's star is going to rise.
Yeah. Light heavyweight fight before that was Ryan Spann and Johnny Walker. Spann had Walker in all sorts of trouble early, and was going to try to take him down and lay some ground and pound on him. Unfortunately, for him, Johnny Walker started landing elbows and hammer fists and knocked him out. 2 minutes and 43 seconds. A lot of action in that fight. A lot of fun. Incredible fight. Johnny Walker is one tough guy, getting another big victory.
Yeah, it was pretty much rock'em sock'em robots out there, and they just literally tried to knock each other's blocks off, and they both accomplished that to a certain extent, except that Johnny Walker was just a tad bit better than Spann was. And then that's what gave him the win. And also, too, I was more impressed by the fact that Johnny Walker, learning from his exploits of, him winning from before, he didn't try to do the worm. He just sat there and meditated. Perfect. That's the best way for him to show that, hey, I've won. I feel good about it. That's how I'm going to celebrate my wins from now on.
Good point. Yeah, dislocating his shoulder in a celebration after one of his last victories, not a good move. yeah, it was nice to see him just sit down, cross-legged, put his hands up and sort of meditate. It was okay. He's getting it. He understands. He made a mistake and he learned from it. So that was hilarious. Yeah, good point. Super funny. He's an entertaining guy. Great to watch. I thought he was a little too raw, and he, did have a setback recently. But yeah, once he got his wits about him and started laying some of those elbows and hammer fists on the side of Ryan Span's face. Oh man, that was lights out for Span, and big victory for Walker. He's a fun guy, very entertaining. I think he's gonna eventually be a heavyweight. He's such a massive guy for that light heavyweight division. It's incredible.
Yeah, he is a big man, and I'm sure he cuts a lot of weight just to get down to the light heavyweight division. And also too, once he had Span up and he was going for the double leg, it was that one elbow that you just saw him crumple, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's the fight. That's it right there. Yeah, great win by Walker. Great win by Walker, man, especially considering he was almost out of there himself.
Yeah. So there was a nice battle between Ronda Marcos, the Canadian, against Mackenzie Dern, the women's strawweight fight. Mackenzie Dern's 9-1 and has had a really great career. Marcos, she's had win-loss a lot over the years, but game opponent. Really good submissions by Dern. She was able to just keep rolling and keep figuring it out and moving into the position till finally Marcos had to tap. Impressive submission win by Mackenzie, 3 minutes 44 seconds into the first round.
Yeah, and also too, I want to say about Mackenzie Dern, she looked, to me anyways, physically better than she's ever looked in any of her other fights. She looked like she was in incredible shape for this fight. And I'm sorry, but Marcos probably shouldn't have tempted fate by going down to the ground with Dern. Should have tried to keep it on her feet and should have tried to stay up, because you could just tell just by her movements, her jiu-jitsu is just that good. It's just miniature adjustments. It's like, oh, I almost got you, getting there, and then eventually, when she locked in that arm bar underneath her armpit, it was over. It was over. Like, if she didn't tap, there goes your arm. So, great win by Dern. She looked incredible, and she looked very, very dominant.
Yeah. The middleweight fight between Kevin Holland and Darren Stewart before that was super entertaining. Those two guys really threw down. Kevin Holland, you and I talked about him a lot lately. He's so fun. He's got such a personality. Really great fight. One of my favorite fights of the year so far.
Oh, yeah, man. Those two brought it. And Holland, unfortunately, faded in the third, and Stewart really turned it on, to the point that I thought Stewart won the fight. But, Holland had actually put some rounds in the bank as two of the judges saw it. And so he won the fight, but incredibly close fight. Even Holland admitted how close that fight was. All right. So, and he had no problem running it back as he was talking with Dana White after the fight was done. But it was such an entertaining fight. Those two guys are two up-and-comers in that division, going up the ladder. Yeah, man. If they do run it back, I'd love to see it again, because that was incredibly entertaining.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. What would you like to touch on the prelims card? Any specific fights you want to talk about?
You know what? Just briefly, I would touch upon the Laramie versus Minner fight that was there. Unfortunately, Laramie, our Canadian product, didn't do his homework as thoroughly as he should have against Minner, because once he got his neck stuck to the side as he was trying to take the takedown, one of Minner's go-to is the guillotine choke, and he sunk that in the first minute of the first round, and it was game over. Hopefully Laramie learns from that mistake and goes forward with a little bit more preparation on his opponent. That's about it.
Yeah, there was a big knockout in the bantamweight fight between Journey Newson and Randy Costa, 41 seconds in. Knockout by Newson was only one thing I wanted to mention. Then there was a little bit of a controversy between Jessica Rose Clark and Sarah Olpar. Rose Clark gave her a knee right to the face just as Walpar was going to sit down. She hadn't quite sat down, and her butt was a little bit off the mat. The referee thought she was sitting and thought it was illegal strike, so he stopped the fight, asked for a replay, and started it again. And they've been saying that once a replay is brought into it, they'll never restart a fight. So it was quite a shock to most people that were watching and commentating, and it was a little bit too bad. But I don't think that should be a rule that once they go to the replay they can't start it again. I think they should be able to restart a fight as long as the delay isn't crazy long.
Yeah, and you know what? You do bring up a great point, because why can't you restart the fight if you go to replay? Like, why is that a thing? Because I actually was beginning to think about that. Because, yes, clearly the ref did not follow the rules of the Nevada State Athletic Commission. But why is that a rule? Like, is it because of the length of time that a fighter gets to recover as they go to instant replay? Like, what is it that possibly gives one or the other fighter an advantage in that? I don't know what it is. And I did see, like, I appreciated the views of both the analysts of Paul Felder and Dominic Cruz. Dominic Cruz saying that I would have appreciated that happening to me in my fight. And I think any fighter would appreciate getting more time to try to possibly win a fight. And then Paul Felder saying on the other end is like, no, man, the fight's over, and she's just going to get beaten up more, which is what she did get for an extra 2 minutes. So I don't know if they're going to ever revisit this rule, but maybe they should.
Yeah, I think they should definitely. We saw it the previous week with Ed Herman faking that he got a low blow, and it was just actually into his midsection. And I don't see that advantage. We do see stoppages that happen from low blows. We see stoppages that happen from high pokes. They get 5 minutes. They get to try to recover. It's not always 5 minutes that they take. It could be a varied amount, but we do see delays that happen for other things. So I don't see why the replay, if replay is instituted, the fight has to be over. I think it's something that they need to revisit. They should change the rules, and it will help. There won't be so much controversy, I don't believe, and there won't be so many unhappy people if they can go to the replay once or twice or a few times in a fight.
Yeah, no, man. Because refs are susceptible to making mistakes like anybody else. You know what I mean? So they're not perfect, and maybe replay will help get the call right in the octagon. It will help get the call right. I just, just however they go about implementing that, or if they do go back to look at start doing some rule changes with instant replay, because at the end of the day, that's all you want to do. You just want to try to get the call right so that no fighter it goes against the fighter's record. You just want to get it right so that the right fighter wins and the right call is made.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen it in, team sports over the years. We've seen it in individual sports like tennis. We've seen it in, many facets. And it was hard for a lot of leagues to change and a lot of leagues to try to implement it. And sometimes they didn't put it in enough situations, and then they realized their mistakes and had to massage it and figure out, the best way to implement it. But I mean, it makes sports so much better, and it makes sure that at the end of the day, it was the right call. And I don't really understand why the UFC would be against that. I think bringing that in certain circumstances, will only really benefit the sport and make a lot of people more happy, because it was the true result that should have happened.
Yeah. No, you're right about that. You're right about that. Everybody would be happy. And, the fighters know that at least you got the call right as opposed to getting the call wrong.
Yeah. So that was a great fight night. Great way to end the Las Vegas run. Back down to Abu Dhabi now for a few weeks, and we've got UFC 253 this Saturday. Israel Adesanya, the main event, undefeated, holding the middleweight title, also facing undefeated Paulo Costa. Costa's one scary individual. If he can, land some of those bombs that he can throw, he can take anybody out. But Adesanya, man, he is one deceptive fighter and has proven to be unbeatable so far. How do you see this fight playing out in that main event?
I can see the fight. How about this? I know it's going to be exciting, and I know we're not going to have a repeat of Adesanya Romero. Nobody ever wants to see that ever again in this lifetime or the next. Nobody ever wants to see that. So Costa's going to come forward. He's going to blitz forward. Now, the thing that I'm looking at with this particular fight is Costa going to be infuriated by the fact that it's really hard to hit Adesanya? And is he going to get out of his game plan because he's going to be so ticked off because he can't hit the guy? Because I know Adesanya will try to just keep range and just try to pick him apart at range. And Costa will try to just zoom in and just try to take him out with a barrage of punches. It's going to be a very, very interesting fight for sure, because I see Adesanya being more of the matador here, trying to wave on the bull, which is Costa, and just, picking his shots and staying away from him.
Yeah. In the co-main event, we're going to see a new champion, John Jones, vacating the title and deciding to move up into the heavyweight ranks. Opens up the light heavyweight belt, and Dominic Reyes and Jan Blachowicz will be fighting. Reyes 12-1, looked really phenomenal against Jones last time out, and Blachowicz has had a lot of really big victories in the last while. I think this is going to be a fun fight. I see Reyes probably winning, but how do you see it playing out?
I kind of see Reyes kind of winning too as well. Not to take anything away from Blachowicz, he's a great fighter, but Reyes was just literally kind of certain punches or kicks away from beating Jones. That's how close that fight was. And I firmly believe that if there's going to be another person to hold that title for a while, it's going to be Reyes.
Yeah, so that'll be a lot of fun. In Vegas, it was fun. There was a lot of really great fights, but Abu Dhabi poses a whole new thing. We're going to see a lot of international fighters we haven't seen in a while, and let's hope Khamzat Chimaev has a shot. UFC 253 will be a lot of fun, and then there's a lot of great cards. I heard Dana White say he's going to be there over the next 5-6 weeks. So, it'll be fun to suddenly see them back on Fight Island, and I'm looking forward to breaking it down again with you next week. Thanks for this. A lot of fun talking about the NFL, NBA, UFC. It's 7-all, Seahawks, Patriots, end of the first quarter. So I'll let you get to the game and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thanks, Jason.
All right. Thank you very much, Darren. Always appreciate it.
Okay. Cheers. Take care. Bye for now. Okay. Well, it was a different version of our typical podcast today, but nice to be able to talk NFL, NBA, and UFC with Jason. We had some troubles logging in on our Zoom in the beginning, so we had to have a scramble to try to pull this off. Went on my phone instead of my laptop here, but I think it worked out pretty well, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Jason is great as usual, great personality, a lot of fun. Tune in every week for his great insight and funny takes and a great personality. And thanks so much. I hope you have a great week ahead. I hope you had a fantastic weekend, and we will see you very soon. Take care of yourself. Bye for now.